You're welcome back. You are watching Joy News, and this is Editors Forum, where we sift through the noise and bring you unadulterated, concrete information on the stories that made the news within the week. Today's Editors Forum will be brief because we will be going to Kumasi, where we will pick a fundraising. The Asantehene Otumfuo said to in his characteristic generosity, together with First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo and the multimedia group, are raising funds to save lives of children and mothers at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. All of us remember the story. Joy News and said Kwame Boateng brought us a harrowing story of mothers and children that die. Sometimes mothers have to queue for their turn to give birth. This situation cannot persist. So the Asantehene is leading a fundraising event in Kumasi to raise some money to build a one-story building to bring succor to these people. And of course, there are many other stories that we can deal with if time permits. We have the soldiers who, according to Lands and Natural Resources Minister John Peter Amewu, are protecting illegal mining sites. Of course, we have heard Defense Minister Dominic Nitting will respond. And then when we still have time, we will deal with the porting of money, not phone numbers. We have heard that board members of the National Communication Authority have shared some $1.5 million among themselves, money that ought to have been used to purchase equipment to be used for monitoring terrorist activities of some individuals if they are suspected to be engaged in same. When we come back from the break, I will introduce my guests and we'll start this discussion. Keep watching. Yeah, welcome. You're watching Joy News. My name is Malik Abbas, but this is Editors Forum. I'm sitting in for the big-headed man, Raymond Akwa, who himself ought to have been sitting in for the pretty face, Gifty Ando Apia. This is Editors Forum. My guest today is the fearless investigative journalist, Manasseh Azure Awune. Welcome to Editors Forum.
Thank you. Who am I sitting in for?
I expected that question. I would have been sitting there ordinarily. But welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Malik.
Let's start with the news that broke, shall we, about board members of the NCA taking some amount of money. The backstory is that some 4 million was taken from the accounts of the NCA. This money ought to have been used as deposit for payment of some equipment that national security ought to use to monitor phone calls by people who are suspected to be engaged in terrorist activity. I wanted to say people like you.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm sure that there are people who see you as a terrorist given the work that you do. But this 4 million was paid into the accounts of another company, Infralock Development Limited. And this is the company which was supposed to do reselling from the Israeli company that was supposed to supply these equipment. 1 million out of the 4 million was transferred. The owner of Infralock's Development Solution, IDL, George Opon, now tells us that after the 1 million was paid, the person who signed the contract on behalf of the NCA sought and obtained cumulative amounts that the cumulative amount of 1.5 million out of the remaining 3 million in his company's accounts. This is the money we are being told by Information Minister Mustafa Hamid has been shared among some members of the board. Of course, we have heard denials from the Director General of the NCA at the time, Mr. William Tevi, and then 2 other people. But the board chairman, Eugene Bafuboni, he hasn't denied it. We haven't heard him yet. When you heard the story as somebody who investigates graft and corruption and stealing, petty stealing, grant stealing and all of that, how does that come to you?
Unfortunately, and I'm sad to say this, that I wasn't surprised.
Really?
And it looks like I have become immune to some of these things because I have worked on some that are bigger than this. And with the NCA, there seems to be some level of amount of untouchability over that organization. We have seen things in the past. For instance, if you look at this Suba issue that came up, a lot of noise was made. People were so angry, but nobody blinked an eye.
Manasseh,
is that same organization that all of this happened?
You have to you have to hold your breath. I have to go to Kumasi, where this fundraising activity led by the Otumfo, Asantehene Otumfo Osei-Tutu II, to raise money for the construction of a one-story building that will save mothers and babies at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. Eva visuals in Kumasi are ready. Let's cross over to Kumasi and hear what is happening there.
Thank you very much for tuning in to Love 99.5, to Joy 99.7, and of course we say a very big thank you to all of you who are watching us live on the JoyNews channel on Multi TV. My name is David Akwete, and we happen to be at the Menshia Palace for a very special reason. A couple of months ago, we brought to you a hotline documentary on a special assignment that took us to the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. In that very hotline documentary, we brought to you the situation under which babies and mothers who are receiving treatment were under. We were told in that very documentary that up to 4 or even more babies die each day. We were told in that very documentary how mothers were lying on the bare floor at the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital. After screening the documentary, copies were sent to the First Lady, that is Her Excellency Rebecca Akufo-Addo. Upon watching the documentary, she was moved and she decided to do something about it. Indeed, she did something, because in Accra a couple of weeks ago, a fundraising event took place where huge people thronged her office, and indeed they contributed in many ways to ensure that we have a new maternity block. Now let me tell you about this new maternity block when it's completed. This new maternity block would have 5 delivery beds. 5 delivery beds. This same maternity block, upon completion, will have 3 theaters. That is to say that if a woman is pregnant and is due for surgery, she wouldn't have to wait in any queue. The theaters are available and she would have her surgery done for her. Aside from that, we would also have about 200 beds available that would enable mothers not to sleep on the floor anymore, but sleep on beds comfortably as they receive treatment. Now, the most exciting thing about this new maternity block has to do with the fact that there's going to be a hostel facility. A facility that would enable mothers house themselves when they are on admission or their babies are on admission. Now, this is indeed great news, and that is how come we happen to be in the Ashanti region to have another fundraising event to happen. Now, let me call on the CEO of the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital, Ms. Dr. Joseph Apalu, who is right here with me, to also share some thoughts on what he makes of this fundraising exercise. Doc, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
And how are you doing?
Oh, fine.
I believe you're excited, knowing very well that upon this documentary that was aired a couple of months ago, we are putting together money to ensure that we have a new maternity block. How does that make you feel?
Oh, very, very much. I think today is one of my joyous days. The best of all, because of what the multimedia, the First Lady, and others are doing. We are so happy. I'm not only having the joy, but I think the staff of Komfanochi are all very included.
What would this mean to the staff of Komfanochi, especially those who work at the MBU?
They are very happy because they will now have the space and do work as it's supposed to be for them. And we hope we are going to reduce the deaths as much as possible. We won't say there will be no death, but those we can treat, by all means, there will be no death in that direction.
Before I let you go, let me throw in this question. I'm sure that you were in Accra for the very first fundraising event that took place. Now, how would you describe that? And upon the answer you give me, what would you say your expectations are for this very event?
My expectation is that people are going to donate a lot, even more than what we had in Accra. That is all. It is so nice. Please, the First Lady have taken the initiative. We all need to help her because it is a Mother Ghana, and Komfanochi will make you all be proud.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Apalu, for your time with us.
Thank you, our listeners and the multimedia people, for making it a reality. Thank you. May God bless you.
Thank you very much for to have spoken to us here at the premises of the Menshia Palace. Now, the next person that I'll be invited to have a chit-chat with is somebody who is also here this afternoon to also give some very beautiful donation. Now, he's in the person of Mr. Stephen Suleiman Jumo. He's branch supervisor for Verna Mineral Water. You know what? When you have water, you have life. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
And how are you doing?
By the grace of God, we are doing well.
Well, thank you very much for honoring our invitation and, of course, for being here. Now, like we often say, this is the Ashanti region, the seat of culture. And like we say, what brings you here this afternoon?
This afternoon, we are very humble and very privileged. Trillium Industries, producers of Verna Mineral Water, to be here to associate ourselves with this powerful and grateful event going on. As we know, Verna Mineral Water, we are also into the charity. So as the First Lady has set this pace, with Otunfo and the first her wife, we also want to also associate ourselves with it, not also to stay in our background alone, but also to come national to help whatever cause when it comes to helping the vulnerable, helping people that need help. We are into help. Yeah.
Now, I have interviewed a lot of people prior to this very, program, and what they've said to me is that Kumasi ought to do better than what happened in Accra during the very first fundraising exercise that took place. Now, you are here with us in the Ashanti region. You tell me, do you think that we can do better than, they did in Accra?
Absolutely, by the grace of God, yes. Definitely, because this is the seat of gold. This is where the cash comes from. Wherever somebody gets money in Kumasi, they go to Accra, but the base is here. So we believe that the people in Kumasi will support this, and we are believing that we will do much better than Accra.
Now, I know that this is by special invitation. Yes. So there are some who are watching us live on television, others listening to us on radio, and they are not here with us. But this is for a worthy cause. What would you want to say to those who haven't made up their mind to donate as yet? What would you want to say to them?
I would say that the Bible says something, that if you want to be a blessed person, you have to give. And that this is a worthy cause, and I will urge each and every one in your own little way. We could see that there are even numbers, MTN codes, whatever that you can send through. And we want to thank Multimedia. Multimedia, I think your base in Kumasi is also open. All industries, all companies, if you've not yet decided to be on board, this is the time to be on board. And we urge them to support.
Well, thank you very much, Stephen Suleiman Jumo, for talking to us. He happens to be the brand supervisor for Verna Mineral Water. Now, let me invite somebody I refer to as a father, because he was part of the people who raised me up. And he is in the person of Professor Achaturpin. He is the head of Ops and Gynae, and he is right here with me as well at the Dementia Palace. Now, like I said, he is the head of the Ops and Gynae. Professor Achaturpin, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Great day indeed, isn't it? Knowing very well that we're here to raise funds for a very good cause. Tell me, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I feel very good. I feel very proud and then very honored to be the head at such an important occasion. And we'll throw our weight behind it and make everything successful. And we hope that ultimately we are going to realize the goal within a very short time. Thank you very much.
For those who haven't been to the MBU, who do not really know what pertains there, we brought to them a documentary. We made it known to the Ghanaian, we made it known to the whole world. The challenges babies face, that of course causes some of their deaths. The challenges that mothers who are also on admission, they also go through. How difficult, how challenging would you say it is to work under those circumstances at the MBU?
It is very difficult, seeing about 100 to 150 mothers crowded within a very small area waiting to feed their babies. You have even no room to even navigate to do rounds on the babies. And you have even about 4 babies sharing a cot, cross-infection, and sometimes resulting in deaths. So it is very disheartening and demotivating.
And this is what this new maternity block, if we're able to complete it within schedule, which of course within the next 4 months or 5 months, is going to bring a lot of relief, not only to the mothers, to the babies who die, but of course to the staff of Konfanoche MBU.
Yes. This is very loud because coming to from the perspective of my area, that is obstetrics and gynecology, the congestion, we have congestion, and the congestion is felt in the labor and delivery wards, the recovery wards, the theaters, and even the lying-in wards. Let's start from the labor ward.
Yeah.
The labor ward, as it stands, should take only about 3 beds. Because I keep saying that when you look at standards of the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists and then the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists, a laboring mother should occupy about 16 square meters a space that should be allocated for a woman in labor. But what do we see? An area which should take only 3 beds now takes about 8 beds. You have very little space for their spouses even to join them, for relations even to join them and offer tender loving care. So there is congestion in the labor ward. Sometimes patients, and we have only 2 delivery beds, and sometimes when they are occupied and you have about 4 or 5 delivering at the same time, it means that the rest have to deliver on their beds. Now let's go to the theater. The theater has 2 functioning theater tables. And sometimes we have about 4 or 5 cases lined up for surgery. It means that only 2 can be operated upon at the same at a time, and then the rest will take their turn. The recovery wards has not been left out. The recovery wards, we have only 2 beds, and look at the number of surgeries that we do. It means that sometimes The theater corridors serve as recovery ward annexes. So it is a problem. When you go to the line-in wards, occasionally you have more than enough patients to occupy the wards. And sometimes some of the patients occasionally take solace on the floor. So it is a very, very uncomfortable situation. And we'll be happy that this problem will be resolved once and for all.
And I'm sure you're looking forward to this new maternity block that is going to, ease a lot of the pressures that you guys face right now at the MBU, because we've been told that you're going to have about 200 beds for mothers to lie on. You're going to have 3 theaters, so pregnant women who are due for surgery will not be in a queue. We'll have multiple rooms, so you will not have babies who are going to be packed in a cot waiting for treatment. And then there's this cross-infection you talked about. So this is really, really, really good news to staff of Confanoche, and of course mothers who will be delivering in the next 5 months or so. But looking around, look at the people who are gathered here this afternoon to support this worthy cause. How does that make you feel? What would you want to say about the numbers you see here this afternoon?
Well, I hope that a lot more people will join and get the whole place filled up.
Yeah.
I'm very optimistic about that, so that we can realize our aim. But let me say thank you to Multimedia for all the work that you've done towards this cause. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And indeed, radio gets results.
Right.
Professor Cherpin talking to us. He is the head of Ops and Gynae at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital. We have more people we'll be talking to here this afternoon. But if you received an invite from us and you have not, arrived here yet, please make your way to the Mesha Palace, where we're having this event. We're raising funds to be able to put up a new maternity block for the Confanoche Teaching Hospital. I'd love to see you here. The music in the background is beautiful. It's amazing. I'm enjoying every bit of the tune right here. Now, I've been joined by another fine, wonderful gentleman who's also here to support the worthy cause. Please join me, sir. Join me. I like the way you look at this afternoon. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Well, let me see if I can get your name correct. Dr. Victor Dejo,
Yeah.
CEO, Soyuz Medical Imaging and Diagnosis Limited, Kumasi.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right, so tell me, you are here.
Yes, I am.
What should we expect from you this afternoon?
Something good.
Can I push you? I don't know whether you're going to bash though, but when you say something good, how good is your something good?
That's a secret.
That's a secret,
Yes.
huh? All right, so metemaso.
Yes.
But tell me, how do you feel knowing very well that as a people, we've been able to put this together just to be able to have a new maternity block at the Confanoche Teaching Hospital? How does that make you feel as a Ghanaian?
I feel very wonderful, and I have to commend Multimedia for taking this initiative. It is wonderful, it is beautiful, and this is the heart of Kumasi Mensha. And I'm praying that today, all your targets will be met.
Amen.
And you see, to be honest with you, people like me and my wife, we've already also taken the initiative.
Beautiful.
We have adopted C5.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes, and we've started renovating on our own.
Okay.
And I wish that
What do you say?
Exactly.
Tell us about the word C5. What made you decide to adopt that word to,
actually,
fix it?
I've always had that vision. And when I clocked 50 years, a friend of mine told me that when you clock 50 years, you need to give back to society.
Okay.
So I decided to adopt a children's ward because I have a very beautiful son.
Okay.
And anytime I go to the children's ward and I see the conditions there, I feel so sad.
Beautiful.
And I've worked in Confanoche for 17 years before retiring, or while I resigned.
Okay.
And I thought it wise that to help, we should also adopt a ward. So we adopted Ward C5, and we've started renovations. We're almost complete, and it's looking so beautiful.
I'm glad to hear that. And again, you mentioned that you passed 50. You don't look it. You don't look it. But let's keep that one. Tell me this. Did you watch the documentary?
Actually, I watched a portion of it.
The bits that you watched, tell me, how did it move you? How did it touch you?
You know something? I've worked in Confanoche for 17 years. So I was used to that. I know the conditions that were prevailing. I know how the doctors were trying, even in those circumstances. It came to me as a surprise because this is the time that the whole nation is seeing it. Those of us who actually worked in Confanoche, we have worked in those conditions to save lives, to save mothers and all that. So for me, better late than never. So I'm happy that the initiative is now, yes. But I can tell you, it is not only the mother and baby unit which is suffering. If you walk through the whole of Confanoche, you will actually see that everything is almost, that needs Help.
They need help.
Help.
And I think that we do
Yes.
it one after the other. We started with the MBU. I'm sure we'll do
Exactly.
others.
Exactly.
But, you know, looking at the numbers that turned out in Accra to support this worthy cause, you tell me this. And, of course, looking at the numbers around here this afternoon, what does that tell you about the Ghanaian?
The Ghanaian is willing to help, except that you need to move the Ghanaian. And as I see, yes, I know you will meet your target.
Definitely. Or even go beyond meeting the target.
Even I believe that even if there were 10 people here, those 10 would help you meet your target. And within 3-4 months, this dream will materialize.
All right.
It is not the numbers. It is the cash in the pocket.
Beautiful.
So I'm very optimistic that we are going to have this mother-baby unit within the next 4 months.
4-5 months. Thank you very much, Doc, for talking to us. We indeed appreciate your time. Go enjoy yourself.
Thank you so
and
much.
I'll be listening carefully to what you'll be giving to us today.
That's fine.
Well, a while ago when I got here to the Mensah, palace, the rain started drizzling. And I was worried. I was asking myself, will the rains come down? Will the rains not come down? Fortunately for us, we have clear weather now, and everything is perfect right here at the Mensah Palace. A while ago, I saw the First Lady walk in, so it tells you that in no time, the event will start, and of course, donations will be received. Well, this is the Mensah Palace. Beautiful music, beautiful setup here, and this is live on Love 99.5. It's also live on, of course, Joy 99.7. And of course, if you're watching us on the multi-TV, as a JoyNews channel, well, there you can see me. And we are glad that you're watching. Now, later on, we shall be bringing to you details of account numbers you can send your donations to, all right? We are here. We are going to collect and receive as much as we can, but you can also contribute to making sure that we have a new maternity block, fixed. Let's hand over to the crew right now as we bring to you live, events from the grounds.
Say you're free more. Hena ene be hwe ye chi emra ye kɔ awoye so a na ye ma afri mu. WHO said maternal death, according to WHO, is death of a woman while pregnant within 42 days of termination or pregnancy, irrespective of duration and site of pregnancy. The effect of a mother death results in vulnerable families, and the kids will not even have time to celebrate their second birthday. Mothers, fathers, this is heartbreaking.
Her name is Mama Efe, and my name
is
is Kojo Yankson. In September 2000, something rather special happened at the UN General Assembly. 189 leaders agreed on 8 Millennium Development Goals. Goal number 5A was that by the year 2015, maternal mortality would have been reduced by 75%. Guess what? We failed at that. And of course, that means by the end of this program, perhaps another mother here in Ghana would have died trying to give life. This is scary because that mother might be someone you know or someone I know. But all is not lost. And that's why we have gathered here today to raise up hope. Before I tell you about the reason why we're here, let us welcome to lead us in an opening prayer, the Reverend Ransford Obing. Reverend Obing is coming up to lead us in our opening prayer. Right, let's put our hands together for Reverend Kusi Boateng, who stands in for Reverend
Prophet
Obing.
Kusi Boateng,
Prophet
Power Chapel.
Kusi Boateng.
Prophet
A round of
Osei
applause
Boateng.
as he comes up.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the First Lady, Your Excellency, the Second Lady, Lady Julia, and all protocol observed, with all due respect, I will appreciate it if you could stand on our feet for a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for this opportunity, for this vision that is falling within the hearts of our mother. We pray that today this vision shall be watered, and surely it shall grow into becoming a great harvest, a tree bearing fruits in its season and out of season. We commit every facet of this meeting to you. Let everything be done to your glory. We promise after it all, we shall say, this is not the doing of men. We shall give you all the honor and praise. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Prophet. Now let's find out why we're here. Today is a historic day, and I think Mama Ife can say it a lot better than I can.
Today is a special day, especially for Kumasi and then for mothers. I am a mother of 6, and I know how. I always tell my kid that I gave birth to you at Konfanochi, but now just go and visit Konfanochi for a moment and see what is going on there. And none Yansrumo ete, and it's ene, yasamane se, sawaha, eye somubi, yenina be somubi, na ye yibi abo Konfanochi. Kanen wo A5, it is any wawu abruchri, and nan swear. So bako MBU, it is any our bashan kubete mo abruchri. What about today? This is the moment for all of us to contribute. We give thanks to His Majesty Nana Osei Tutu, Lady, and then our second lady is also here, Lady Julia. We appreciate you for giving us this opportunity to host this program in Kumasi and then in Menchia. This is Ahimfie. When you come to Kumasi and then you don't enter Menchia, then you are lost. Everybody is welcome. I hope we will all contribute to a wonderful program today.
Now, our mission here is simple. We are here under the hospitality of His Majesty the King and his wife, Lady Julia. But we have been led here by the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Her Excellency Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, who, in the company of the Second Lady, Her Excellency Hajia Samira Baumia, have brought us all together to save a child and save a mother. This is happening in our own backyard. This is our own city, where people from all around the country are referred when their cases are too difficult to be handled by district hospitals. But when they get here, all they face is a gamble between life and death, where medical professionals have to make the unfortunate choice of deciding who gets priority over whom. Sometimes these choices lead to the death of innocent children and mothers. The solution is you, and that is why you have been invited here. We will tell you a little bit more about how you can play this all-important role of saving a child and saving a mother. But first, we are being hosted by His Royal Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II and Lady Julia, and we are privileged to have with us someone you can aptly describe as a mother of the Asante Kingdom. She is the mother who feels the pain and sorrow of her children and shares in that pain. Tonight, Lady Julia is spending time with us to find out how we can at least save a child and a mother for Ghana's future. It's therefore right at this moment to take a welcome address from Lady Julia.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo. Your Excellency, Second Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Honorable Regional Minister, Nana Akomfrehene, Honorable Mayor, members of Parliament gathered here, CEO of Okomfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, ladies and gentlemen. Barely 1 month ago, the Ministry of Health and all their agencies and partner institutions held their annual summit in Kumasi. In his message to the summit, His Majesty Otumfuo Osei Tutu II Asantehene highlighted the grim situation at the mother and baby unit of Okomfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital, where mothers and babies were dying needlessly from sheer overcrowding, while a 7-story block began 35 years ago lies abandoned, providing comfortable accommodation for reptiles and vermin. His Majesty made an earnest plea with President Nana Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic, to put the conscience of the nation at rest by taking urgent action to end the needless deaths at the mother and baby unit. It is our pride and honor that after years in which pleas fell on deaf ears, we have found not just a listening ear, but an inspired act to save our mothers and children from needless deaths. We are grateful to the multimedia group for the powerful documentary which shook the conscience of the nation. And we are grateful also to all those who combined expertise, helped produce the emergency unit to ease the acute congestion while the government prepares for the completion of the abandoned block. But above all, our utmost gratitude belongs to the First Lady of the Republic, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, for her inspiration and initiative that has galvanized the nation to support this noble humanitarian venture. Auntie Rebecca, thank you so much. It has been a great privilege to collaborate with Her Excellency in this exercise, and we hope that the end product, the life-saving maternity block to be constructed within the next 3 months, will be a lasting tribute to the enduring empathy of Ghanaian motherhood. On behalf of Otumfuo Asantehene and Asantehema Nana Akufo-Addo III, I welcome you to Menchia for what we hope will be a worthy and successful fundraising event. To our distinguished audience gathered here, and to those viewing or listening at home, now comes the challenge to let our hearts guide us to contribute, and contribute most generously towards the success of this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lady Julia. We'll now call Professor Acha-Terpen from Okomfo-Anokye ONJ. Professor Acha-Terpen from CAF, Okomfo-Anokye Teaching Hospital. Professor.
While Professor Terpen makes his way up to address us, it's very important for us to be aware of the difficulty that these health professionals face every day when they have to choose who lives and who dies. Professor Terpen will share more with us. Prof. Please use this microphone.
All right. Thank you. Your Royal Majesty, Otumfuo Osei Tutu II Asantehene, Royal Majesty, Lady Julia, Your Excellency, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, First Lady, Republic of Ghana. Your Excellency Hajia Samira Bawumia, the Second Lady of Ghana. Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic Corps, multimedia staff, and other media representatives, management and staff of Komfo Teaching Hospital, and the Regional Director of Health Services, distinguished invited guests, all protocols observed. Permit me to start on a note of gratitude. First, to Otumfuo and the Manshia Palace for hosting this fundraising event and giving it a royal touch. The name Komfo makes us at KATH inseparably linked to Asante Mine, and we are grateful for the continued support that we enjoy from the people and royals of the Asante Kingdom. Tons of gratitude to the Rebecca Foundation and the multimedia team for the grand step taken to help complete the emergency structure within the next 3 months or so. Aiko. To all those corporate groups and individuals that gave donations during the first fundraising ceremony in Accra, we say thank you, but like Oliver Twist, we ask for more support. Lastly, I would like to salute all staff of Komfo Teaching Hospital, past and present, who have worked many years under trying conditions, giving their best to their patients and clients. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as has been exposed to the world, our maternity outfit has some challenges, and including the following. Congestion in our labor ward, which has 8 pre-delivery beds and only 2 beds for mothers who are ready to deliver their babies. Here, I would like to place on record that the labor ward, in its current insufficient state, conducts about 12,000 deliveries annually. 2 operating theaters, which oftentimes cannot cater for the number of mothers needing emergency surgeries at the same time. Sometimes we have 4 or 5 cases, and hence 2 or 3 have to wait their turn. The recovery ward can only take 2 post-operative cases at a time, and hence the theater corridors have been turned into theater annexes. The lie-in and post-operative wards are usually overcrowded, and it is not uncommon to have some clients and patients finding solace on the floor. The mother-baby unit also has its fair share of the congestion. Currently, the unit has 6 cots and 9 radiant heaters, and these are woefully inadequate for a unit that receives about 10 to 20 referrals a day, with sometimes 4 babies sharing a cot meant for 1 baby. About 100 to 150 mothers crowd into a small space so as to be close by in order to feed their babies. These promote cross-infections between babies and even mothers, and may result in some infant death, mortality. Ladies and gentlemen, as you give your donations towards the construction of this emergency structure to house the labor ward and MBU, I would like to remind you of some rewards that will accrue. 1, expanded space and increased access to referral maternal and child health care, covering catchment areas in the Ashanti, Western, Brong-Ahafo, Central, and the 3 northern regions. This new structure will take us closer to our hospital's goal of 1 mother, 1 bed, and 1 baby, 1 cot. Reduce mother and child deaths, and reduce infections shared between mothers and babies. Prevention of the queuing of laboring mothers needing emergency surgery, as currently there are only 2 operating theaters, as well as relieving congestion in the labor ward, which has only 2 delivery beds. 4, reducing facilities maintenance costs due to pressure on the limited ones available. Improving the environment for services, teaching, and research in maternal and child health. Royal Majesty, we are excited to learn that the upcoming emergency structure will be completed in some 3 months after inauguration. This undoubtedly will help save lives of mothers and babies lost daily in our facility. We are also optimistic that the government of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo will keep at its good intent of completing the main maternity child block in the first 4-year term. Let me encourage all, home and abroad, to donate to a good cause. As you do, remember that the providence you create will receive back will be written beyond secular generations, as is provided for in Matthew 25:40. New International Version, and I quote, "The king will reply, 'Truly I tell you, whatever you did for one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did it for a unique cause,'" unquote. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor. Now, as always in Africa, knowledge seems to be an elusive enemy. And so in spite of the fact that the whole world is paying attention to maternal mortality, there still doesn't seem to be sufficient information about it here in Africa. And that is the reason why Multimedia Group Limited has taken it upon itself to champion this campaign. So to hear a very brief message from the media platform that has chosen this as its mission, let's put our hands together for the Managing Director of Television for Multimedia Group, Mr. Santok Singh.
Your Excellency, the First Lady of the Republic of Ghana, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Your Excellency, Mrs. Samira Baumia, wife of the Vice President of Ghana, Her Royal Majesty, Lady Julia Osetutu, Nana Num, Honorable Regional Minister of Ashanti Region, Honorable Members of Parliament present, Member of the Diplomatic Corps, Corporate Ghana, business leaders, distinguished colleagues from Multimedia Group, management of Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital, distinguished colleagues from all media organizations present today, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. We are here today to save a child, save a mother. It is only fitting that this campaign continues here in the Garden City after a very encouraging fundraising event earlier this month on May 4th in Accra. This project is a perfect example how media can collaborate with partners, and in this case, with the Office of the First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo. And this is, of course, to achieve fruitful results for the benefit of the society. And we are grateful to the First Lady for leading the campaign and encouraging support for the Mother and Baby Unit project at Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. Leadership, integrity, and community. These are our core values at Multimedia Group. This is significant because this is what guides us on our day-to-day job. At JoyNews, a TV channel within the multimedia portfolio, this is what we do and we will continue to do. Despite sometimes when we highlight issues, we get a lot of flags from a lot of quarters. We receive a lot of flags as well when we highlighted this issue, but we don't mind all the negative feedback that we get because our objective is to make the country a better place. Next to Die, a documentary by Seth Kwame Boateng, revealed the disturbing situation of baby dying every day at Ghana's second largest referral hospital. Mothers too lost their life in this hospital. This is largely to the lack of space and facilities. Your Excellency, the First Lady, today we take another bold step to appeal for support to save lives. Under the gracious auspice of His Royal Majesty, Otumfo Osetutu II. We are indeed encouraged by his interest in this project, and we encourage everyone to donate generously towards realizing the expansion of the facility of the Mother and Baby Unit at Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. While we do that, the construction of the 1,000-bed block, which is abandoned for about 43 years will be completed with the blessings and with the help of the government, which is led by our Honorable Minister, President. There has also been overwhelming support and concern shown by many that health facilities across the country should receive proper facilities to prevent death and improve life. Other hospitals around Kumasi and indeed in the Ashanti region need this support to help ease the traffic and pressure on Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. So maybe that will be our next project in times to come, God willing. My sincere appreciation to all the donors who have donated generously in diverse ways to help this cause so far. And I thank all of you who are present here and responding to our invitation. We hope you will also support this cause by donating generously for this noble cause. We at Multimedia look forward to further collaboration and partnership aimed at making Ghana a better place. And I will conclude today's my brief speech by sharing you the documentary that we have produced by Seth Kamoy Boateng, and to share with you the real situation at the hospital. Thank you. Medase.
In Ghana, a newborn baby dies every 15 minutes. 4 die every hour. 96 every day. More than 35,000 each year. That's according to the United Nations Children's Fund. Some die together with their mothers. The 2015 Ghana Millennium Development Goals report confirms that Ghana loses 144 mothers to every 100,000 live births at its health facilities. On the average, 4 of these deaths occur in Ghana's second biggest hospital, that is the Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital here in Kumasi.
The mother and baby unit is the unit in Komfo Anoche where all children below 2 months are admitted. Now, as we all know, newborn babies are extremely vulnerable and extremely delicate, and they are very, very wide open to infections. Currently, we have about 100 babies. In a cot where 1 baby should be lying, sometimes you have about 3 or 4. In an incubator, which should take only 1 baby, often you have 4. And when this happens, all the babies are at risk of infection because they pass infections, they share infections. The other thing, of course, is that the mothers are living in conditions which are actually subhuman. You have about 90 mothers in a tiny room, squeezed on mattresses, some of them lying on the floor, some of them lying on benches. And the only crime they've committed is that their babies are sick and that they need to be there to take care of the babies. We end up every now and then losing babies who should not have died, but who came in maybe not too sick, but picked an infection on the ward and ended up worse than they should have been.
In 2013, Irene lost her first child and lost another the following year in this hospital.
I should have been a mother of 3. But now, a mother of 1. It all started when I was in labor for the first time. I was taken to one of the hospitals, the private hospitals. I spent for some few hours, they referred me to Confanoche. The reason was that the abdomen was big and there was futile distress. So when we reached Confanoche, I was rushed to the theater. For some few minutes, I heard my baby crying. She was a girl. Her birth weight was 4.5. So they said, we are taking your baby to the mother and baby unit to monitor her sugar level. The next morning, I came to breastfeed my baby. She was doing well. She was trying to breastfeed. So for the next 3 days, I came only to be heard that my daughter had had an infection. I said, hey, infection, because of the congestion, 3 to 4 babies sleeping in the same cot. So I was just praying to God. So for the past 5 days, we were discharged. That night, when we went home, my baby died.
Initially, I vowed never to come to Confanoche again. That is what I thought. So I told her to attend antenatal at Central Government Hospital. The very day that she was in labor, unfortunately, it was midnight again. So we went to Central Government Hospital, and the nurses told us that, gentlemen, doctors are not available at this particular period, and for that matter, we have to refer you to Confanoche. Why me? The pain, the trauma, the agony, the wahala that we've been through, to be frank, Kwaju.
This time round, I queued for about 4 hours. So I was in the queue, I feel like pushing. I said, Mommy, oh, bo. They said, stop shouting because we are going to operate you. Why should you shout? So I realized I was in the theater and I delivered off the baby. The baby was a baby girl. This time around, the weight was 4.3. So they said they were taking the baby back to MBU. I said, hey, this MBU. I was told that maybe 3 days' time there will be possible discharge. So I was happy. The 3rd day I came just for the doctor to tell me that your baby has had an infection. I said, hey, infection again. I was standing there, watch my baby die. Just like that. Just like that.
As a mother, we are doing here is praying your baby will get well, and then you go home. Because you look at the condition here and you are scared. You ask yourself, is my daughter going to get better? Is my son going to get better? Because that is not what we are expecting. You know, in healthcare, we call something holistic care. And that is the kind of care that we are expecting to receive. But you come here and you're not getting that care. So you ask yourself, then why am I here if I'm not getting what I am expecting to get? It's very terrible.
And so really, and Nansan and then I'm a mammy cotto, and don't my brother bring me up, maybe down on the Biasa. And women are Freud, and Sapa and Atia women, Lumia, if I came in cry, all that's so that's all. And you pay more boy, yeah, more boy, papa, yeah, more boy, me back with back with that, Nicolina Bechewa, a better woman. I got one, some tomorrow, and then go ahead and no pass a million, and you say, Miss Sapra, to our baby, or Yaru. And so, and Tonto Kawa, as I had a yard for Frogbill. Now, Tonto more women, now women back. A best than a crown when you're holding.
Ideally, each baby must be assigned an incubator and a cot. But that is not the case here.
I think the other very big challenge with the congestion is that ideally, after every baby leaves the cot, you should disinfect the cot or disinfect the incubator thoroughly. But because we have so many admissions coming, you rarely have the chance to do the kind of cleaning that a newborn should have before he lies in the cot.
Forty-year-old Zach Terrier lost his wife here after a cesarean session.
I saw her, she was in pain, and she was even moaning, and I could feel the pain, her pain at that point. I remember very well that when I demanded to see the body of my wife, my father even said they shouldn't do that. But I remember outside the hospital, outside the morgue, they brought my wife on a stretcher. That is a metal container that they used to carry dead bodies from the wards to the morgue. And I said, yes, now I know she is dead.
My name is Seth Kwame Boateng, producer of the documentary Next to Die. These are some of the heartbreaking tales that set me on a journey to look for answers and explore how we can all help and prevent the next avoidable death. We all have a role to play, and we must help now.
I really felt very sad and worried about the situation in the Confanoche Hospital. How so many children are dying, and mothers also dying from childbirth. In this day and age, it's really very disturbing. How did we get to that? It's a terrible situation which we should do something about as soon as possible. We've come together, a few of us, Seth, yourself, and Samira, and some other people to talk about what to do to alleviate the problem. We've decided to put up a building which can be done in 2 to 3 months, we're told. And so we're looking at raising funds.
Many of these deaths are preventable, and I think it is absolutely inexcusable in today's Ghana.
It's difficult raising a child as a single father.
What I've gone through, I don't want people to also go through.
I hope this story will cause a change and make the necessary impact.
I need all the assistance I can get from everyone. I'm appealing to all Ghanaians. This is a very serious matter which we should deal with as soon as possible.
We need to save these babies, and we need to save them now.
Save them now.
Save them now.
Save a child, save a mother. Save them now.